Hey everybody, welcome to the Hockey Skate Down. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. If you want to join our hockey team, it's free. Click subscribe with the notification bell to all. Thank you all so much. Let's get started. I want to do a trade rumor video on the New Jersey Devils. There's been a lot of rumors involving some of the players on their team. And as far as today, we've heard a lot of rumors involving Kyle Palmieri. So I'll mention him later in the video. But, I want to talk about other players that you've been hearing some rumors on, or some analysts have been linking them to certain teams that they may be a good fit. So the first person I want to talk about is defenseman Sami Vatanen. With the Florida Panthers losing Aaron Ekblad for 12 weeks after his surgery to repair a fracture to his leg, the Florida Panthers will look to trade for a right-shot defenseman. Options are Brandon Montour of the Sabres, David Savard of the Blue Jackets, Tony DeAngelo of the Rangers, and Sami Vatanen of the New Jersey Devils. Now, Brandon Montour, I think the Sabres will try to ask as much as they can for him. They're trying to look to acquire pieces for a lot of their good defensemen and players on their team, and I think Montour is going to bring them back a good return. So, again, depends on what the Florida Panthers are willing to spend. David Savard, Aaron Portzline, who covers the team, already said that the ask for him is going to be a first-round pick and a prospect, most notably an offensive center. So he may command a lot. Tony DeAngelo, I think with the situation that happened with him and the New York Rangers, I don't think a lot of teams, especially teams, are looking to really build for the playoffs and to build on their chemistry they already have. I don't think they're going to bring a player into their organization like Tony DeAngelo. So I don't think a lot of teams are going to trade with the Rangers for him. That's where I think Sami Vonnen to the Florida Panthers is a good fit. I think if they're looking to acquire a good right-shot defenseman who could play up and down their pairings, I think Sami Vatanen is an interesting option for them. He's not going to cost a lot. He's the UFA at year's end. So if they're looking to get a reliable person who could go into the lineup and not cost them a lot, I think it'd be Sami Vatanen. So I think he'd be a good fit with the Florida Panthers. So stay tuned with him. Dmitry Kulikov. McGuire on TSN 690 says a lot of teams have called the New Jersey Devils about Kulikov. Says they can speed up the rebuild if they make the right moves at the deadline. So with Dmitry Kulikov, I think a lot of teams have really piqued their interest in looking at him. I think he's a defenseman that could play. If they're looking to add a defenseman who could not cost a lot, he's a UFA at year's end. His cap hit is not high. And, he doesn't have terms on his deal where, it's going to cost a lot to acquire him. I think he's going to be a defenseman who can step into any team and add that physical, rugged, tough defenseman that they may need. So I think a lot of teams are really looking at Kulikov, and I think he'd be an interesting fit if for a team that's looking to add that tough defenseman who could play the front of the net. Miles Wood. Now, I don't want Miles Wood traded, but I think if Tom Fitzgerald's looking to trade him for the most return that he can get for him, it's definitely this year. Miles Wood's game has really risen this year. He's been a difference maker in a lot of games, scoring some timely goals, adding that physical, tough element to especially our team, and some net front presence, which we've lacked with a lot of our players. So, again, I don't want Wood traded. I like Miles Wood on this team. I think he's a player who really helped our young players grow this year. He's definitely one of those players that stepped up for a lot of our teammates when the situation was needed. So, but I think if you're looking to get a good return on players, I think he's definitely one that could bring back a lot this year. So Craig Button on That's Hockey says the Leafs should try and target Miles Wood since Hall would be difficult from them cap-wise. You heard a lot of rumors this past week, especially with Taylor Hall to the Leafs, and I think Miles Wood would be more of an interesting option for the Leafs. He fits more of what they need and something of what they don't need. They have scorers on the team. I don't think they need another player like Taylor Hall on this team. I know Taylor Hall has had a bad year with the Buffalo Sabres, but I think going to Toronto would really step up his game and help his goal scoring. So it would help the team put some pucks in the net, but would it help them win the cup? I don't know. I don't know if Miles Wood will as well, but I think what the team needs, I think Miles Wood, I agree with Craig Button. I think he would be an interesting option for them. Button calls Wood a difference maker. He also has 1 year left after this season at $2.75 million. Cap hit, you know how Dubas likes to acquire players who don't have expiring contracts, who have a little bit more term, especially at that cap hit. I think he would really go for that. And Button likens getting Miles Wood to Tampa getting Coleman last year. So definitely one of those players that can really push a team to help them go further into the playoffs. So Miles Wood to the Maple Leafs sounds very interesting. And I know a lot of Toronto Maple Leafs fans have really said they wanted Miles Wood on the team. So definitely keep an eye out on him and the Leafs to see what they're going to do. Kyle Palmieri. Now let's talk about him. Today we played the Washington Capitals, and of course we lost again to them. Couldn't beat them at all this year. Just horrendous playing them this year. But, he's been a healthy scratch for the game today for the purpose of keeping him healthy during trade negotiations. His agent, Stephen Bartlett, said that he held him out of the lineup in anticipation of a trade in the coming days. In 34 games this year, Kyle Palmieri has 17 points, recorded 24 goals in his last 5 years. Devils can retain up to half of his salary for a max return, and he has an 8-team no-trade clause, and James Myrtle of The Athletic believes that Leafs is one of them. But that could also always change. You've seen players who said they don't want to go to this team, and then they think about it as the trade deadline comes, and they see that they have a good chance to win a cup there, and they end up going. But, we'll see what happens with Kyle Palmieri. It's been a weird last 2 weeks with him, with news surrounding him. You heard first that he wasn't going to sign an extension. The team was far away as far as negotiations. Then you heard that he was going to stay, and then you heard rumors of them working on an extension. They said, especially in the past couple of days, you heard them really talking about trying to work on a contract for both sides that works well. And they took one more chance at one more swing at a contract, but it didn't happen. And it's definitely going to be most likely a trade with him being held out of the game, especially today. I got a little worried. You saw him go down awkwardly in one of the past couple of games. He fell on someone's skate and was kind of holding his side. So, that's where I think this really started, where, let's keep him out of the lineup in case something happens. But I think he did play one more game. But, now that they're trying to play it safe, where they don't want him to get injured if there's a trade in the works. So, it's not going to be an extension now. It's looking more that's definitely going to be a trade, and very soon. So, definitely keep an ear out in this. It could happen as early as Monday morning. It could happen Tuesday. It could happen any time leading up to the April 12th deadline. But I think it's going to happen early within this week. So, of course, me doing a trade video, it always happens that when I release the video, the player gets traded 20 minutes later. So, we'll see what happens with this. But Pierre LeBrun says that the Islanders make sense for Kyle Palmieri, especially with Lee injured. His cap hit can go to LTIR. The Islanders have a lot of cap space to work with. I believe it's $7 million. So, it's interesting to see what the Islanders do this year leading up to the trade deadline. You're hearing rumors of Taylor Hall, about Lamoriello looking at Taylor Hall. But if they're looking to add a forward and possibly a defenseman, if they want to add some depth at that position, Palmieri would seem like more of a fit. He seems like more of a fit as far as what the team chemistry is and how the way the team plays. I think Palmieri is an interesting fit for the Islanders. So I can definitely see him going there. Darren Dreger believes that it could be Boston, the Boston Bruins, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Colorado Avalanche, the New York Islanders, the Edmonton Oilers, and I'm going to throw in the Pittsburgh Penguins as well. I think they can definitely make a strong case to want a winger to play with, one of their strong centers. So, the Boston Bruins, I'm going to hold them at the top of this list. Alongside with the Islanders, I could see them 1A, 1B in this situation. I know Boston wants to add another winger to really deepen their scoring and take some slack off of that Bergeron, Marchand, and Pastrnak line. So I could see them adding a winger to one of their other lines to really help their case out. You're hearing rumors of DeBrusk and a pick for Palmieri. We'll see what happens with that, but you've been hearing those rumors going around the past week or two. The Islanders, I don't know what return you're looking at. There hasn't been really anything said, but you're hearing the Islanders as one of those strong teams that are making a case for Palmieri. And the Maple Leafs, I've heard a lot about them looking at Palmieri as well. Could he be one of their teams that he doesn't want to go to, but then he'll change his mind? We'll have to wait and see. But, Colorado is definitely one of those teams that every year you're seeing them making a case to try to add something. We'll see if they try to add Palmieri. I think he'd be an interesting fit there. Colorado has a lot of assets that they could trade with the Devils for him. So we'll see what that happens. And, with Edmonton, they're always looking for wingers to play with McDavid and Draisaitl. So Palmieri would be an interesting fit there. I think he could add a lot of goal-scoring ability to, one of those centers. So we'll see what happens with Palmieri. I think a trade's definitely going to happen very soon. I think anywhere from like Monday through Wednesday, you're going to hear a trade happen with him. So, keep an ear out. If anything happens, I'll do a video on it. But comment below what you think about this. And I think I'm going to add 2 honorable mentions to this. Will Butcher, I think, will be traded as well. And I think Ryan Murray as well. He's really starting to heat up. I think he has like 6 assists in the last 3 games. So he's really picking up his play. So keep an eye on those players as well. But comment below who you think will be traded leading up to the April 12th deadline for the Devils and where do you think they may go. Comment below. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate your time. Smash that like button. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the Hockey Skate Down. Join our hockey team. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of the day. Have a great night. Take it easy. Stay safe.